On August 5th, 2025, 1 year ago, I came to India with nothing to expect in this new country. And 1 year later, today, I have experienced so many things that have changed my perspective about the Indian people, the culture, the food, and so many other things I'm about to share with you in this video. So make sure you watch this video to the very end, because the last biggest lesson that I have learned about India will shock you. Hi guys, my name is Kelly. I'm an African medical student studying in India, and guys, I have learned so many things about India that have changed my perspective, the people, the culture, and I'm about to share with you 5 lessons that I have learned about India, and the last one will shock you. Let's get started. So the first lesson I have learned here in India is that the people have really taught me that people in India can be complicated. Why am I saying this? So if last year, for example, when I just arrived in India, the very first day I was at the airport, guys, there was a gentleman and his family. They were staring at me, guys, and just entered into the country in Andhra Pradesh state here in South India, and I was at the airport. So as I was standing there waiting for one of my colleagues to come and pick me up, there's a family that was talking about me. I could see it in them, and that one thing really put me in a state of being uncomfortable, and I was really surprised about it. Like, they were literally looking at me and I was looking at them, and they were still talking about me. Anyways, guys, that didn't like really perturb my mind, but as I have been in India and I have learned so many things, there are so many other things that have really shocked me about the Indian people, and one of them is the hospitality, guys. The hospitality in India is crazy in a very good way. First of all, Indians are really amazing people. Like, when I just come to my university, they really helped me out on my, for example, checking in into the hostel. When I went to class, I made so many good Indian friends, and one thing I've learned about the Indian people is that they really have a very good heart for guests, and they have a saying that the guest is next to God. And guys, this is so true, because when I entered the very first time in my anesthesia class, I had boys come to me and they were like, "Hey bro, what is your name? Where do you come from?" Like, they were so caring, guys. And till today we are friends, and they still ask me, "Hey bro, how are you doing? Did you have your lunch?" And that's one thing I've learned about the Indian people, is that they really care for other people. They have this kind heart, and it's really amazing. The hospitality in India is really, really amazing. And the other thing I've learned about the Indian people is that sometimes you have to like understand them in after speaking with them, guys. For example, if you see someone from afar, you may think that maybe harsh, but if you talk to them, you find out that they're really nice people, guys. And this is one thing that I had to learn in the hard way. Like, I had to first of all approach a few people, especially when I was making some of my YouTube videos, and I used to think that they will not accept, but most of them were like, it's fine, and they were really happy to be in my videos, guys. And this one thing I've learned about the Indian people, is that you cannot judge them from what you see on the internet, guys. You have to first meet them and you talk to them, guys. And I also want to share just a few moments where I felt welcomed. So guys, there's a time I had traveled to Palakolu state here in Andhra Pradesh, and we had gone for a ministry. So what happened was, there's a family that invited us, guys, and we were going to pray with them. They were Christians. They are Christians, and guys, one thing that I realized about them is that when we had entered church like this, they already were very happy to see us. They wanted to offer us drinks, but we were not ready to receive the drinks at that moment, though we had to first pray with them. And after that, they still invited us to go and have dinner with them, guys. This family was really, really amazing, and we had dinner with them. Then after, we talked to one of the ladies. She was, I think, one of the elders in the church. And guys, she was like, "Thank you so much for seeing and visiting my family and praying with us." And guys, I really felt so welcomed, and it was really amazing. I really loved the way they treated us, guys. They gave us very good food. Before we came, the pastor who was in charge informed them that you guys will be receiving some African students who are going to be praying with us. And guys, they were already prepared for us. They really had this hospitality. Oh my god, it was so nice, guys, and I really miss that family, guys. Also, we traveled to another place where they gave us gifts, and that's one moment where those are the moments where I really felt welcomed, guys, and I cannot forget those moments. And then I also want to share with you guys the moments where I didn't feel welcomed, and this is only once, I think, because we had traveled to Delhi, and as we were coming back, we had to book buses because our train tickets were having issues and they were cancelled. And there was a gentleman, guys, who was only speaking Hindi in the bus. He was the one who was like a conductor in the bus, but guys, he was so harsh. I was trying to carry my luggage to put it somewhere. He was like, no, you cannot put it here, I have to put it with, you have to sleep with it. And guys, it was a lot of luggage, and it was really a terrible experience. But overall, I can say that the Indian people are really, really amazing, guys. Anyways, the second biggest lesson I have learned about India is that the culture is really diversified, guys. And one thing I have to inform you again is that you cannot learn India and Indian people from the internet, guys. When I was back home, I expected maybe to find a place whereby people only have like one religion and they believe maybe in one like thing, and it's supposed to be like that. But guys, I've realized that the culture in India is so diversified. There are so many people who are living, coexisting together, and they have different religions: Christians, Hindus, Muslims. And guys, that's one thing, beautiful thing that I've learned about India. It has really surprised me. It has made me really, really feel comfortable in India, guys. And first of all, I want to talk about the families and how elders are respected in India. Indians really respect their elders, and they have this thing whereby they give hierarchy basing on the age of the person. And this is very important because the older someone is, the more respect they are given. And I've even seen this in my own class where my seniors who are in second year come to class, and the freshers who are my Indian friends are really like listening to them. They really respect them, and this is one thing that I love about Indians. They respect their elders. And also, let me talk about the festivals, guys. Now, the festivals are really, really many here in India. Indians love to have festivals, guys. Like in my first few months here in India, we had over like around 6 festivals happening in just a series of like 3 months, guys. And I was like, what? And they were all big festivals. So I realized one thing about the Indian people is that they really love to have moments of togetherness. They have these moments where they come and celebrate time together with each other. They have moments where they come and dance, and they really have a spirit of togetherness that I cannot explain very well, guys. So let me also talk about the social interactions. In social interaction, what do I mean? I mean, like, for example, when I had just come, it was easy for me to make friends because they were already welcoming. So one time in class, a friend called me, and I never talked to him. I was like, bro, come and sit here with me. We started talking. We discussed about my country, Uganda, and we talked about Kampala and so many other things, guys. We became friends till today. And guys, I can honestly say that I'm really happy that I have such amazing friends. Anyways, guys, now moving on to the third biggest lesson that I've learned here in India is that the food here is really, really important. In what way? First of all, Indians are people who have a lot of food, guys. It's a country that is rich in food, and you can never lack when you're in India. So I want to start off with maybe my first Indian meal and my experience on the Indian meal that I had. So my very first Indian meal, of course, was rice, as India is a country that really like treasures rice, and I think it's one of their biggest meal. And my first meal was chicken biryani, I think. No, it was not chicken biryani, it was actually just normal rice but with dal, the smashed peas. And guys, I want to say that I did not really like it because it was my very first time, but with time I have started adapting to the food. And also the spiciness of the food is really, really key here. Indians cannot cook without spice, and if you're an Indian with me and watching this video, just comment down in the comment section. I know that is true, that most of my Indian friends cannot eat food without spice, and that's one thing that we have to get used to as African students. We had to get used to, and over the time most people have now adapted to it and they are okay with it. But Indians really love their spicy food. Then also I want to talk about my first street experience. I have the video on the channel, you guys can go and watch it. The first time I tasted street food, I won't lie, I was a bit scared because of the things I was seeing on the internet. And that's why I've told you guys that you should not believe everything that you see on the internet. People can literally do anything they want on the internet. So my first Indian street food was really, really amazing. I ate something called a samosa, and it was really, really tasty, guys. And honestly, I cannot forget that day because the guy who really made it for me was really like a very nice guy. He he was really caring, and I cannot forget that day, guys. And I also want to share with you guys what we eat as African students here. So we eat a variety of foods in our international mess, and they include maybe rice. There's also potatoes, fries, and so many other things, guys. They really try to cater for us, and that's one thing I've loved about the Indian people. It's really, really, really beautiful, guys. The food here is very, very important. Moving on to the next lesson that I've learned as an African here in India is that being black is also somehow a very good thing. Why do I mean? One thing I did not expect was how much attention I would get because of my skin color, and this comes in the way that most people here rarely find it like a very, very nice thing to meet a black person, especially for the girls, my friends. Normally when we travel outside, we go with them, like they always want, like ladies want to touch their hair, they want to ask them, is this your natural hair? Like we really have this thing whereby they really get surprised when they see like an African medical student or an African any other African student here in India, and there's this thing that makes them feel, maybe I think it's curiosity, and that's one thing that also makes me happy about Indians. They really want to know about you, they want to ask questions about your family, and guys, that is very good. But some of my friends complain about it, that oh, we don't touch our hair and all that. But guys, for me, I realize that it's just a way of trying to connect with us, the foreigners or the Africans here in India. And also one thing I've realized is that they really love to take photos with us, the black students or the African students in India. And whenever we go out like to a new place, they'll be like, oh bro, can I take a photo with you? They really get happy when they see us with them. Now moving on to lesson number 5 is living in India and the cost of living, guys. How is the cost of living? So number 1 is that the cost of living in India is really, really, like, it's affordable for anyone to live in India. That's one thing that has made me really happy. I want to talk about the hostel life first of all. I'm a student staying on campus in hostel of Gitam University, guys. I want to say that they provide for us meals and so many things actually cheap at the university, and you don't need to maybe go outside and buy stuff. But sometimes even when you go outside, things are still cheap, especially the groceries. I have friends of mine who are staying off campus, and guys, they told me that things are really cheap, especially in terms of cooking materials, because I've told you here food is really important. So the cooking materials like tomatoes, onions, these are all very, very cheap, guys, and that's one thing that has made me really happy about India. What about the transportation? So for the transportation, and it's even better, guys, because I normally travel for prayers at a friend's house here, but I literally pay only 10 rupees, guys, and that's one thing that really showed me that here transportation is really, really cheap, guys. And one thing I've loved about India is that anyone can try and survive here in India, because they try to make life easy for everyone, guys, by reducing the cost of living. Life is a bit easy when you're here in India. And then for the education, also the fees and all the tuition, this is also affordable, especially if you want to study abroad and you want to maybe do a medical course or maybe engineering or any other course. The fees are really affordable, and that's one beautiful thing and one nice thing that I have really loved about India. And I have more of the explanations on my other videos about medical school, but I'm going to move on to the part where I'm talking about the budgeting now. For the budgeting, it's really easier to budget in India. Like for example, when I was buying a few of my content creation equipment, I had a budget of like a very, very small budget of around 2,000. I was like, I need to get a good microphone, I need to get a good phone light and so many other things. But guys, trust me, I was able to buy all these at even just 1,500, guys. A very good microphone and also a good phone light. I also got a ring light and so many other things, guys, are really affordable here in India, guys. And that's one thing that I love about this country. It is really easy to survive. If you want to survive, it is so amazing. So let me talk about the homesickness. So sometimes, yes, I get hit by homesickness, I miss home, but I already told you Indians are really hospitable. You cannot feel uncomfortable around them. They try to make you feel comfortable. I have friends who have like a good connection with their Indian friends, and I've really seen the joy they have when they are with them. like they are really amazing people. I'm not trying to do anything like clickbait. I'm just being honest with what I've experienced. I have also friends that call me sometimes and they're like, bro, have you done this, have you completed this? And it's really amazing, guys. It makes me feel really happy and comfortable. So the homesickness can come, but with time I got used to it. After especially after a full year of being in India, now I am used to being in this place, and I can stay for a longer time without even going back home. That is the honest truth. And then what about the things that have found surprisingly cheap? Now the things that I found surprisingly cheap are actually, for example, the clothes. Clothes in India are really affordable, and you can literally get a very nice brand of, for example, a very common famous brand at a very cheap price. And also one thing I realized in India is that there is prices for everyone. Like if you have enough money, you can get very like the same quality, a better quality of course, than a person who has less money, but you guys can get the same product, like the same clothes. And that's one thing that has made me happy. Also the shoes are really cheap. I have shoes that I bought at when I was in Babu Market in Delhi, in New Delhi, and they were really cheap, guys. They were just 400 rupees, but they are very nice, and I was really shocked about the price of those. And also I'm also going to talk about the things that I have found surprisingly expensive, and that is number one, the ACs. Here ACs are really expensive, and I think I understand why. The heat in India is a bit like much. I'm not going to say it's too much, but it's a bit hot here in India. So AC is a very important thing, and we have ACs in our class too, and we're always switching them on. They are never off. But I one day asked my friend whether they could get an AC for their house, and they told me that it's really expensive, over 1 lakh, and I was really shocked. So that's one thing that has really surprised me about the cost of some things here. And now moving on to the biggest lesson I have learned here in India. So the biggest lesson I have learned in India is that traveling abroad is not only about finding a better life outside, but it's also about breaking stereotypes and learning better about the world. Guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Please subscribe to the channel, and I'll be releasing more content about medical school, about international students' reactions with Indians and interactions. And guys, honestly, I have really found India an amazing home, amazing second home, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Subscribe. I'm out. Peace.